All right, y'all. I just gotta be real with you. Um, the question of the day is: am I the Pistons Jinx? Little people, big people, all people. Welcome to Buffed Up Sports. Thanks for clicking on this video. Now, just make sure you head over to buffedupsports.com. That's where you'll find the links to all my social media platforms. Easy ways to financially support the show, if you're able. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel so you'll never miss a new video. If you're enjoying the content, please share Buffed Up Sports with your peoples. Let's get everybody watching and tuning in. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in to Buffed Up Sports. Now, I hope you enjoy this video. Why is the question, am I the Pistons Jinx? Hear me out. So, for those of you who didn't know, I went to the playoff games that we just had. I've had some time to recover, but I went to games 3 and 4. I didn't go to game 6. Now, hear me out. First of all, let me say, game 3, probably best basketball game I've ever been to. Legit, probably the best game I've been to. Definitely by far the best game at LCA. No doubt about it. Like, that game was jumping, right? Even though the Pistons lost game 3 against the Knicks at LCA, I wasn't upset. I was bummed, but I wasn't like devastated because the series is only 2-1. We got another one at home, and the crowd was rocking tonight, and it was a good game. Like, we knew going into the series, it's going to be hard-fought games the whole way through. So my feelings not hurt, right? Then game 4, I went to game 4. Game 4 happens, I leave devastated. Because now we're down 3-1 going back to New York. So now I kind of accept the reality, like, we might not win this series, y'all. But again, game 4, great. But the fact that I went to the game 3 and 4, I start questioning, am I the Pistons Jinx? The reason I question, am I the Pistons Jinx? Because again, I went to games 3 and 4. We lost both. So I made sure I didn't go to game 6. Mind you, I've been to 4, before game 6, I had been to 4 of the last 6 Pistons playoff games at home. For reference, I went in 2016 to game 4 against the Cavs. Lost. I didn't go to game 3 in 2019 against the Bucks, but I went to game 4 against the Bucks. Lost. I went to game 3 and 4 2025 against the Knicks. Both lost. Aside at this point, again, I've been to 4 of the last 6, playoff games, and it wasn't looking good. It just wasn't looking good. So, I didn't go to game 6, and then they lost. So I'm like, maybe I'm not the Jinx. So then I started wondering, who is the Jinx? I was like, it's my dad, my own father. You know why my dad's the Jinx? This is why my old man the Jinx. I'm gonna tell you why. Back in 2008, when the Pistons won their last home playoff game against the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, guess who went to the game? My pops. And guess where he was sitting? Courtside. Guess who he didn't take? Me. And you know what hurt me the most? I remember watching this game vividly because of the fact mind you, the man is sitting right next to the Pistons bench. So every time that camera panned over to that side of the court, guess who I see? My dad, my uncles, my cousin. They're all chilling, having a great old time sitting next to the Pistons bench while I'm at home having to watch it on the couch. And I remember I begged my dad to take me too, and he ain't take me. So I cried. I cried because I was hurt, but I was bummed. So my dad's the Jinx because he should have took me to the game. They have not won a home playoff game since. So I definitely say my dad is the Jinx. I will say, though, I was happy to see the Pistons, finally win a playoff game in my adulthood. Because, let's be real. I went pretty much my whole life without seeing. So, for reference, right? When they did win that game in 08, I was 6. I pretty much went through all of school without seeing the Pistons win a playoff game. It took them from the time I was 6 years old to the time I turned 23 to win a playoff game. And that's kind of the case with all my Detroit teams right now. The Lions went my whole life without seeing them win a playoff game. They finally won one when I was 22 years old. The Red Wings won the Stanley Cup when I was 6 as well. And then they haven't made the playoffs in about 10 years. You got the Tigers. Last won a playoff game, I was in elementary, middle school, I want to say. Took them till I was 23 to win another playoff game. So my point is, I went a good chunk of my childhood without seeing my teams win. So finally, when I reached my adult years, they were winning. So I'm like, all right, I'll take it. But geez. But to wrap up things, I'll be the first one to admit the Pistons exceeded my expectations this year. Hold on, I gotta put on my Pistons buffs, you know. But I'll be the first one to say the Pistons exceeded my expectations this season. I didn't expect nothing out of it. I'll be the first to say they made me eat my words. I said I'll be happy we win 20 games. I said I'll be happy we make the 12th seed. I said I'll be more than happy if we just make it to the play-in. These jokers said skip the play-in, skip 20 games, skip your 12th seed. They was a 6th seed. Didn't have to go in the play-in. They made the playoffs off rip, so we avoided the play-in. And we didn't win 20 games. We doubled that. We won 40-something games this year, tripling your win total from the season before. So how can I really be upset with that? I can't. I was more than happy. Should we have beat the Knicks? Absolutely, we should have beat the Knicks. But was I happy with the season as a whole? Yes. Do we have a lot to work on? Yes. But what off-season needs do we really need? There's not much. All right, bring back Dennis Schroeder. Bring back Beasley. Hey, I'm even okay if you can bring back Tim Hardaway, even though I know they saying like bringing back all three of those guys is not, likely to happen. Hey, Giannis, we don't know what he wants to do. If Giannis wants out of Milwaukee, you definitely listen. You listen if that's what it takes. But no, we don't need to make that big splash. I'm not gonna say if Giannis don't want to come here, I say don't do it, because that's not what I'm saying. If Giannis want to come to Detroit, it's Detroit basketball. But just in an honest, more realistic point of view, if you will, you don't need much. I mean, the Knicks series, you had your two best players out between Isaiah Stewart, who's the heart and soul of the team. He could have did some things to Cat and Mitchell Robinson. He would have banged with those guys. Pause. And then you have a guy like Jaden Ivey, who was averaging almost 20 before he broke his leg. Into his season. Imagine if you have either one of those guys in the Knicks series. If you ain't going 7, you're winning the series. You going 7 at least though. So there's not much you really need. People got the audacity to say that Cade Cunningham is a Robin who needs a Batman. For all we know, Jaden Ivey might be that Batman. So I'm like, hey y'all, pump the brakes. But if there's anything we absolutely need, I say yeah, we definitely could have used the second scorer in the playoffs, but that's where Jaden Ivey comes in if healthy. So we'll wait and see. But the Pistons exceeded my expectations. Hey, we had this new regime come in. We brought in a new coach and a new GM. I had no expectations, and they exceeded. They ran through the door on those expectations. So I'm not mad. You shouldn't be mad either. The Pistons is back. Detroit basketball is back. And we back to work, baby, because it's Detroit basketball. Peace.